Alrighty, Steeler Nation, welcome back to Steelers Nation Australia. I got the headphones on, so I have a special guest today, and this bloke is awesome. He might be the biggest fan, and I actually say the biggest fan or Steelers fan in the world. And I kid you not, it's going to be so fun to find out Edgar, his story. It's going to be awesome. Before we do that, we got 9 people in the chat. This is what I was talking about yesterday when I recorded the 1,500 subs, right? The fact that you guys come in and go, hey, what's going on? What's up? Is fantastic. So we'll do the roster just quickly. Say hello to everyone. G'day, Josh, Daredevil. We have Gene in the house too. We have g'day, Brian, George, Claude, the Arsenal DB. We have who else have we got there? We got George again. You guys all saying everything. Yuli, what's going on? A lot of people. 1.5 million. That's coming next. All right. But I want to bring this guy in because I met this guy, I think about 2 or 3 years ago in a podcast. I think it was like from Steelers Nation, Mexico. And this bloke's story, if you ever thought I'm a big fan or if you're a big fan, nah, nobody contends. G'day, Thomas. No one contends to this guy. This is my mate, Edgar. Edgar, what's going on? How are you?
Hello, Mark. It's a pleasure to be with you and have the chance to chat a little bit from our Steelers and also with Australia Steeler Nation. It's a big deal for me that being here with you, my friend.
Man, I just want to say thank you for coming on the show. You're a fantastic person. I think I've spoken to you 2 or 3 times in the podcast universe or Steeler Nation universe over the last few years and stuff. But if you know what, you could almost be the representation of Steeler Nation. Look at all the photos behind you.
Well, that's a very nice compliment, but well, I'm probably just like another fan, and everybody. We just love the Steelers, and probably we just try to reach our passion as much as we can. We live it, we embrace it, and we try to share it with more friends, and that's the way that we can connect, like with you and with this Australian Steeler Nation. So it's a pleasure. It's mostly what makes me most of the things that make me happy to be a Steeler fan is to have the chance to connect with some other Steelers fan around the world, spread on the world.
Yeah, man. Well, you got myself here from Australia. We also have everyone in the chat too. What's Que Paso? What's that? Do I say that Que Paso? What's that mean? Is that hello? Que Paso? I don't know.
¿Qué pasó? It's mean like it's in Spanish. Like, well, nice. It's Daredevil. So it's like what's up? ¿Qué pasó? What's up? ¿Qué pasó? Exactly. Yeah.
All right, man.
Cheers,
yeah.
Cheers, mate.
That's cool. That's cool as. So, but I do want to ask you about the 2023 Steelers. We'll get to that part in a minute. But first of all, I want to find out your story. I want to find out the Edgar Steeler Nation story. Right? How did you become a fan of the Pittsburgh Steelers? And what was the very first moment you became a fan of the Steelers?
It was kind of funny because it was more like a jump of faith, a leap of faith that really watching the Steelers. I was like maybe around like 9 years old, something like that. And I was just, it was any other Sunday that I was visiting some relatives from my parents. And then when we arrived to their place, all the kids were playing in the street, that they were playing football, right? Like Tochito, no? Just like without contact, just throwing the ball, catching, kind of flag football, but without the flags, right?
Yeah.
So that was a lot of years ago. But that time I was just a young boy, and I was also always interested in sport. But I was short, I was thin, I wasn't fast, and also I was terrible catching balls, terrible, awful. So, but all the time I was playing with my friends, no matter what, but probably being in the middle like a traffic cone, and that probably was my position. Okay, be a traffic cone, and everybody was running, throwing passes, catching, and I was just hanging around there with the team.
Were you better than Devin Bush at middle linebacker? Let's be honest.
Probably Devin did it very well comparing with me. So, but even that. These kids, they were playing around and they invited me to play with them, and I said from the very beginning, well, I want to play, but I'm not good at all to play football, right? So there was this boy, and so we start playing around. Some boys were making touchdown and stuff, and there was this boy that was our quarterback team, and he said, why are you not trying to run a route or try to catch a pass or try to be open? He said, well, because I don't know how to catch. I said, yeah, really? He's, okay, I'm going to throw you. I'm going to see it by myself. So next play, probably I just spread out. I was just running, and he threw me a pass, and he noticed that I don't have any clue how to catch the football. So we were playing for a while, and probably maybe an hour or something like that, and then we make kind of a pause because every kid needs to go to their own homes to have a meal, like a lunch meal.
Yep.
So I get in with the relative that we're visiting, and then this kid hold me by my hand and say, "I see you in 15 minutes." Everybody agreed to be out in 30 minutes. Listen, I wait you in 15. Okay. So I just eat it very fast, and in 10 minutes I was out, and the kid was already waiting for me. And he said, "Well, I wanna teach you how to catch a pass."
Yeah,
And
right.
so probably he just made me a little like demonstration. Okay, you just need to run maybe 5 yards, um, turn your face, extend your arms, stop the football, and grab it to your chest. That's it. He throw me the pass. I follow his direction, and then boom, finally I get a football. Let's say, okay, run to the other side, and then to the other side. So we started just repeating that as many times, maybe like 10, 20, I don't know how many. And every time I was catching the ball, able to catch the ball. So I was maybe they started making route like 10 yards, 20 yards, 30 yards, just catching the ball. So I was having fun. Finally, all the kids came back. We continued the game, resumed the game, and then I catch another, and I make a couple of catches, a touchdown. So I was just so
Touchdown.
overexcited because for the very first time I was enjoying the game. At the end of the game, we won, and then it was playoff season. So later there was probably the AFC final in between the Raiders. At the time was the Los Angeles Raiders and the New England Patriots to see which one goes to the Super Bowl. It was 1985. So
1985, you said?
1985 exactly. So all the kids get into our relatives because their kids were playing with us. So everybody just get in the house because all of them were Raiders Nation fan, and we were watching the game. So everybody was cheering the Raiders or whatever. So I was sitting beside this boy that was teaching me. His name was Victor, and so I just asked him, "Hey man, are you also a Raiders fan?" And she said, "No, no, no," but very quiet. She just was whispering, "No, no, 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 no. I'm a Steelers fan.
Yeah.
Steelers. I haven't heard that name before." I said, "Steelers. Are they good?"
You'd never heard that at all till that
No,
day?
not at all.
Wow.
So he said,
Yeah.
the Pittsburgh Steelers, and say, "Are they good?" So, "Oh yeah, they're the best. They have 4 Super Bowl trophies, most than anybody else."
Mhm.
"Oh, they are good." So, "And what's your team?" He asked me, and you say, "The Steelers," just like him, right? And that was the last time, the first and last time that I saw that boy. But sometimes in life there's this person that make you a huge impact in your life that probably you will
100%.
you will never know how much impact he made it, because after that those relatives move away, so we never came back to that neighborhood, to that street. So I didn't see that boy anymore. But after that, he just teach me how to play football. The next time that we were playing with my friends, that was totally different story because I was catching, I was running, I was scoring. So it really changed the way that I was enjoying playing with my friends, and also makes me start getting interest in football. And after that, probably take me maybe 2 or 3 years until I have the very first time to watch a Steelers game, because at that time there
So
was the dark time, so there wasn't many Steelers games on the TV. We have only 2 channels that was broadcasting games, so the option were watching the Cowboys, the 49ers, the Bears, the Redskins, but not the
yeah.
Steelers. So probably it took me maybe like 3 years until I have finally the chance to see my first Steelers game.
So your
But that's how it
fandom,
started.
your fandom goes all the way back to one person that said, "Watch the Steelers."
As the Steelers, I'm a Steelers fan. They say, "Well, I will be a Steelers fan," and here I am.
And now look at that wall behind you, and we're gonna get into your fandom even more. So, you're from Mexico, right? And you live in
Mexico
where do you
City.
live? So you're born in Mexico?
Mexico City, yeah.
Yeah, and that story partook in Mexico?
Exactly.
Yeah. And
Mexico
and where
City when I was a
and
kid.
where do you live? Where do you live now?
Now, well, from the last 12 years, I moved to Toronto, Canada. So that's now
Ah,
where I am with the Canadian fellows.
right. This was finding crazy, right? Because hang on, you're from Mexico, you're a Steelers fan living in Canada.
Living in Canada. That's right. And
talking to an Australian.
talking to the Australian.
Like,
And the very good thing, probably, when I was with my family trying thinking about to move to Toronto, I wasn't very sure about it because it's a big change. But my wife she's very wise. She said me, she just showed me a Google screenshot. They say, "Do you know that we could be just 5 hours away from Pittsburgh?
yeah.
Magic word. We just pack everything else. I just burn my ships and I move on." They say, "Well, I'm gonna be close by, so I'm in."
Do you have season tickets for Pittsburgh? Do you have season tickets, or do you have do you have you buy games or whatnot?
Yeah, not season tickets, but when I probably when the season is coming, I try to pick 1 or 2 games, and if I would just drive in and drive all the way down to Pittsburgh and watch the games and come back. But yeah, mostly twice a year, and also mostly every year I try to go to the training camp as well.
Are you so you're not going this year? You haven't been this year, have you? No, you just came back from holiday, right? Didn't you not come back from holiday somewhere?
Yeah, I was in vacation in holidays in Mexico, so but probably
Yeah.
in the next week I will figure out one day and I will try to go to the training camp because it's getting interesting.
You'll try and go in the next few weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah, right. That's crazy.
maybe the next
Uh,
week, hopefully. I'm crossing my fingers.
Hey man, I love that story. The fact that your story came from a person watching the football back when you were younger. You didn't know who to support. Didn't know what was going on, and he said,
That's
"I'd
right.
go Steelers." You said, "Okay, I'm going to go for the Steelers," and
I'm
now it's
gonna go
turned
for
into
the
something
Steelers.
that is your overall passion, our passion. Our team's going awesome. I do want to get into a few things. So I had a question here from I think it was Gene who
Sure.
asked, and it's always a great question. Who is your favorite player? Not that you've met, because we're gonna figure out some stories soon too. But who's your favorite player that's ever played for the Steelers?
Well, my favorite one from all time is Rod Goodson, the corner
Rod
from the
Woodson.
90s.
That's a very
Rod
popular
Goodson.
answer. Yeah,
Yeah.
we get quite a few Rod Woodsons on the show. There was another bloke I met from Germany said Rod Woodson too, and he actually met Rod Woodson. Have you met Rod Woodson?
I met Rod Goodson. Yeah. Let me see. Let me just stand up, go to
Which
my wall,
which
and
photo?
let me try to find the good rod. The hot rod is over here. Yeah, I had the chance to.
Let's go, man. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Sorry for the brightness, but
No, it's
yeah,
fine. It's
this is
okay.
Hot Rod Goodson.
I just love how you can just pick it off the wall and just like, okay, here's the guy that I met now. Okay, tell me something about Rod Woodson that would entertain our fans and why is he awesome or why is your favorite?
Probably when as I tell you, when I started pretty young to watch the Steelers, and there wasn't many chances in the 80s because, it was when the team was trying to transition from the dynasty from the 70s, but so it was taking a long until they have the chance to make a good team again, to form a good team again. So and as I say, normally in Mexico at that time there was only 2 TV channels that were broadcasting NFL games, and they just show one game on Sundays, probably the game at noon and the game later. So they were probably one was broadcasting an NFC game and the other one an AFC game. So they were probably picking the most popular games, where the most popular teams were playing. So I didn't have the chance to watch more Steelers games in that age because of that. There were very few options on those days. But once, probably was kind of the last seasons of Chuck Noll. I remember that. Well, it was when they recruited Rod Woodson, and there was also a very good team in 1989, and that's probably the year that really made me become a true believer. That was it was an awful starting of that season. They just were. Buried with the Cleveland Browns 51-0. The next week, the Bengals just vanished off, maybe like 40-7. There were very, very bad moments, but somehow they just managed to get around the season. At the very end, they just squeezed at the very last week to the playoffs, and then they went to Houston to beat the Oilers, and the Oilers at that time they were Super Bowl candidates, and the next week probably they was get very short, maybe the 1 point short to beat the Denver Broncos in the divisional game. But those that season made me a huge impact because they were all the time like underdogs. Nobody wasn't believing in them, and then they rise up. And those probably was the year when Rod Woodson came by, and I start watching him. And then after that, every year, like kind of like making a kind of a symbol of the team, just
Mhm.
intercepting, defending, tackling, recovering fumbles. So it was amazing to see him. So the time that I had the chance to meet him, it was kind of I was feeling maybe like a teenage girl about to see Justin Bieber, if I could say
Yeah,
at that
man.
time. So I was very nervous. I didn't know what to say, but I just say, "Well, you're my favorite Steeler of all time." And he's a very nice guy. Very probably if you can see him around in Steelers events, probably he was in training camp maybe 2 days ago,
I
and
think he
well,
was. Yeah, there was quite a few of them down that way. A lot of
yeah.
legends out there.
So
Was Rod a good person? He was a good bloke. He started. He was very personable.
yeah, it's very personal, very kind. He takes his time to get the picture, to sign what you need. So he's a very nice guy.
Yeah, man.
Sometimes
That's
they say, "Don't meet your heroes," but I meet mine, and he's
well.
an awesome guy.
My favorite player is James Debo Harris, and I'm actually nervous to meet if I ever meet James Debo because I feel like he'd tell me to go away. I'd be,
He could
you
be
know,
telling that.
he'd be too busy or something like that, and he'd be like, "Get on my way."
He's
But
such a character. But let me show you
have you got
something from
James
my
Debo
notes.
Harrison too?
If you
No,
have any time had the chance to see him smiling, have you had the chance to see him smiling?
not often. No.
No, 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 no. It's
No.
not often. So look at
Where's
that.
that at?
That's in training camp, 2017. But look at what that wide open smile.
What? Do you know what year that was?
It was 2017.
Really? That was his last year, right? I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
exactly. That was his last year around the
That's
team.
when that's when
Before
he was
him,
getting he was getting cut out, right? They were bringing in TJ more, I think, and he wasn't getting the reps near the end, right? And
that's
he went to
right. And at the end, he moved to the with the Patriots that year. Well, that hurt us, but still,
yeah.
oh, I had the chance. He was so wide open, smiling to take the pictures. Oh, he was a. He's a guy,
You
but
know,
most of the time he's not serious. He's a very serious guy, and I just say probably if you ask for a signature or whatever, he maybe probably ask you to do 15 push, and then he will take the picture or
he would
sign
ask
whatever
you to
you
do
need.
push-ups to get it. That's cool,
Sometimes it
man.
happens, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. So that's where I gotta start getting fitter. You know what's gonna be funny? I'm gonna ask you about more Steelers players, and I reckon that wall behind you is gonna be bare. You're gonna have
I can be
no photos
taking
left.
pictures away.
I've got another question too. From the Arsenal DB says, "What is your favorite Steelers moment?" That's a real hard question, but like your favorite moment.
Oh, it's probably I could say like well, sometimes could be like the big plays around the Super Bowl, like the catch of Antonio Brown, the catch from Heinz Ward, the touchdown from Big Ben. There's plenty, but probably the most significant for me, it was same in that season, that 1989, in that game when probably we were down and Bobby Brister was the quarterback at that time. So at the very end of that game in Houston, because we were down on the game, and then we get on the top and we never lose. So at the very end, he just made the final drive and probably used to secure the game. I remember that probably I was so excited. It was on Christmas evening. I remember that my
Ah,
family got mad on me because we were supposed to follow the tradition and get alone on the grandma's house. Everybody in the family was supposed to be there, but me. I preferred to stay
you like
home.
I got a
Probably my
Steelers.
family hated me the most because I said I'm not going to Christmas dinner.
I gotta watch the game.
I want my Steelers, yeah, and and also because of that, in that game, my mom said, "Okay, I'm gonna leave some food in the fridge in case that probably you don't want you have something for dinner, and probably you can go back with your grandmother when the game is gonna be over." So I say yes. I stay home, and then I just grab this shrimp cocktail.
Okay.
Nice shrimp cocktail. So I was eating that, and suddenly something changed. My arms start tearing, my skin start having a rash,
Oh no.
then getting harder. My throat was start like swelling. So at
You
some
had a
point,
bad
say
reaction.
I had a very exactly another reaction,
Oh.
and I say, should I call my mom or I finished to watch the game.
Finish the game.
I was 15 years old at that time, and they say, "Now I'm gonna watch the game." So
That's
when
crazy.
they're always attacking with Warren Moon, Drew Hill, all these four fantastic receivers they have, and the Steelers was battling back with Merrill Hodge running the ball. So I decided I was feeling very bad, and at some point I was reading like Darth Vader, like,
That's crazy.
and I was about to reach the phone to call my mom. I said, "I need help." I said, "Nah, this is gonna pass." I just hang up the phone. I can find the game. So my dad came in. So because probably my mom sent it, I said, "Just bring the boy in." So no matter what happened with the game, just bring the boy. So my dad came in and he saw me all red, all so like sweating, like, "Are you okay?" I said, "Yeah, it's getting away." So just probably finally, well, the bad reaction was
So
getting
nothing
away.
stops you.
Yeah,
Nothing
yeah, yeah.
stops
That
you from
didn't
watching
stop
the
me.
game.
That's what I say. Well, if I die here, I need to know how the game is gonna be end. We won. I was so happy at the end. We just joined my family to that dinner, Christmas dinner party, and that's what I say. I can say that I really Steeler fan now.
100%. 100%.
100%.
Oh
Yeah,
man. Oh, okay. Let's. I want to ask you a few
that
more questions.
that was the game.
Probably
The
two more I want to find because there's something I want to show the audience, man. First of all, I got three pictures I want to show the audience. We're going to talk them through, and then we're going to talk some Steelers. Where was this picture's fantastic. Where is this picture taken? You with the Mexico flag. Where's that taken? What day?
Well, it was in 2019 against the Colts. So it was
Ah,
that game probably was when we recently acquired Minka Fitzpatrick, and I remember that there was the funny story is that I went to that game because I won those tickets. At that time, there was the 100th century anniversary of the league, so the Canadian NFL Canada was holding like a contest. So they give you challenge every week, and you need to complete the challenge,
yes.
upload your photo or your video from the challenge to the NFL Canada website, and what was it was being sharing with all the fans, right? And then, but you were competing against another fans that they were submitting their achievements, like their challenges.
Was it like the best fan award or something like that? Best
Yeah,
Steelers fan, best
there was
Steelers fan in Canada?
yeah, like
Ah.
mostly not only Steelers, like NFL Canada
Oh
was
wow.
holding this contest. So every team was competing, like every fan was competing with their own teammates, team fans, right? I was competing with another Steelers Canadian fans, and the challenges was like probably like, okay, show you how you prepare for maybe for a game day. Show us how you show your happy Thanksgiving dinner party. Like, so I was kind of building Steelers stuff for every challenge and kind of getting on the top of my group. So
Yep.
at the very end, I passed to the finals. I didn't make it because the major prize was a trip to the Super Bowl. At the end, they just probably after like every team representative just made it to the second round. They just make a draft, and well, another guy just won the Super Bowl ticket. I got shot at this. I
You were
was
that you were so close to actually winning to going to the Super Bowl
to
because
the
of your
Super Bowl.
fandom.
Yeah, I got to
Wow.
the playoffs, doing keeping my challenges, and at the very end, well, they gave me those tickets for that game. So that's what I was getting there. I didn't share you the picture, but I have a kind of another kind of the same picture. One's holding the Mexican flag and another one holding the Canadian flag.
So in that game, right? Didn't Minka run one back for
He intercepted
90
from the end
yards?
zone and just run all over the way to the to the. I was looking at him on the front, like he was just running in this direction. So
Yeah,
it was crazy.
you're watching him go from all the way back there to like, oh my goodness, he's gonna make it to the end zone.
He's gonna
How
make it
how
to the end
how
zone.
was that feeling? How was that feeling when you saw that live?
Yeah, it was fantastic. Even like we at the end, they tried to get close to us at the very end of the game. They missed a field goal, so we won the game. It was a close game, but
Yeah,
it
I
was a
remember
good
that.
one.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that was it Mason Rudolph? That was a big bit when Big Ben went down. It was Mason Rudolph a quarterback,
That was the
right?
system with based on
Yeah.
Rudolph under controls. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So
right.
you were doing all these fan events and you won tickets to the Steelers and you were so close to going to the Super Bowl, which is crazy.
It was
Okay.
great.
There are two other photos I want to share. You need to talk. You need to talk me through this one. What is
Oh,
happening with this photo?
well,
These, these,
I
hang on, these are your jerseys, right? These are all your
that's all
jerseys,
my
aren't
jersey collection exactly. So I have a thing. My family
they?
call a disease. Well, I think that I have a thing for nylon polyester shirts, so it's like jerseys. So over the years, I've been collecting Steelers jerseys, one at a time. Probably my first jersey was from Jerome Bettis around 2000, 2001, 2002. Something. No, sorry, like 2000. Yeah, like 2004 was the first Steelers jersey I have, because the same reason. Like back in Mexico, it wasn't easy to get any more. Well, probably you can get some Steelers stuff like cups, glasses, beer, well, beer holders, stuff like that, caps, maybe some coats, but not but jerseys not everywhere you can find it. And I at that time I wasn't living in Mexico City. I was living in another province, in a small city, so it was hard to get Steelers stuff. But I get my first Jerome Betty, that is should be over there somewhere. And then yeah, the next one was maybe Big Ben, or the next one Troy Polamalu, and again over the years I was just making that jersey collection. In 2020, when the pandemic happened, well, I prepared myself before, and I was supposed to attend with some friends to make a trip to Canton to be there on Troy Polamalu's Hall of Fame ceremony induction. I was supposed to be here. I had my tickets. I also get a curly wig to Hollywood to wear it with my jersey. But pandemic happens. The borders were closed, so I wasn't able to make it, right, to make it to the ceremony. Well, the ceremony was postponed. It was postponed a year later, but that day, that picture, I just took all my jerseys, went to a nearby park, and I just put all them together, trying to make these displays as a tribute to Troy, because he was supposed to be inducted that day, August. Can't remember. Probably kind of the same days around this week, and said, well, he needs to have a tribute, right? That's
Yes.
why I was just
Look
put
at it. It's
down all the
crazy.
jerseys, some terrible towers, and try to make this make this huge jersey. And that little thing just under the left sleeve, that's me with
That's
my
that's you.
curly
That's you
wig.
laying down. That's you laying down against next to all your jerseys.
Yeah,
Wow.
laying down with the jerseys. A friend just get to the park to use a drone to take the picture for me. And I just put it on Twitter to Troy. I say, well, you deserve a tribute today.
Yes, because I remember I actually I was planning to go to the Hall of Fame for before the pandemic broke out and all that kind of stuff. I was planning to go and see Troy. I had spent over like I think $5,000 to get over there, and I was going to have the best package that I could and try and meet Troy and be a part of the ceremony. Unfortunately, things happen how they are. But he ended up going in like the year after in the great speech. But you making this is absolutely insane. As my mate here, Jedova says, far out, Edgar's a legend.
Yeah,
Because
David,
that
thank
is
you, man.
insane. I think I saw this on Steelers.com. I think they even shared this, didn't they?
Yeah,
A Nation
yeah,
Unite, someone shared it.
that's right. Yeah, somebody said it's still Nation United, and yeah, so it was it's a way like to share this thing with friends or with all the Still Nation. I remember probably when I have maybe like 3 years or something like that. One time in a Steelers community, I just saw a picture that some guy just put it like kind of his closet. And there was lined up maybe like 20 jerseys. I said, man, that's awesome. That's insane. Like, I wish one day I could have a closet like yours. And he said, well, it's just take one jersey at a time, one at a time, and someday you're gonna feel it for yourself. So now, well, I have this. This is my
Well, this
kind of
is
this is kind of my closet, and because it's so full of jerseys.
well, to me, Edgar, this is one of the most iconic photos I think I've ever seen. Wow. Yes.
So
Yeah.
well, and that's the same, like, because probably that guy in that photo showed me, and he just answered in a very nice and polite way, like, well, just one jersey at a time, my friend, and it's gonna grow. And that's what happened. One jersey at a
But
time, and here they are.
But that's what I'm saying. Like this to me is like one of the most iconic, I think, Steelers fans photos out there. Now here's the segue. The segue. This photo actually got you to talk to Troy Polamalu, correct?
And
Because I'm
that's
going to bring up
correct.
another
Yeah.
photo, right? So we have another photo here. Whoa, whoopsie doopsie, wrong one. And we have another photo here from you met Troy.
I'm in
Talk,
Troy. Yeah.
talk me through this experience. How was it meeting Troy and saying hello to him? And if you, I see your. So did you give him your photo?
Yeah. As you see in the desk, that in the table that he signed it is a print of that photo, and he was signing that one. And
Wow.
the story is like this is this show that happens every 3 times a year in Virginia, USA. It's called the Chantilly Show. It's a sports show, so there's not only NFL players that goes around. That there's it's a huge convention. Uh, Car traders, different kind of sellers, and mostly important, like a lot of athletes from basketball, wrestling, also baseball, hockey, and football, of course. So they bring this huge roster of different athletes. So you have the chance to attend to that convention, buy tickets for autograph tickets, so you can have the chance to go meet them, shake their hands, bring your stuff, maybe a jersey, a helmet, a football, and they will sign it to you, shake your hand, take your picture, and move on because the line is are longs. So the day before, after that, that I couldn't. The his induction ceremony was postponed. The next year in 2021, before the Hall of Fame ceremony, there was this event was happening maybe weeks before, maybe a couple of weeks before the NFL the Hall of Fame enrichment ceremony. So I find out that Troy was supposed to attend that convention, and I just mixed arrangement with a friend that was attending the show. He told me Troy is coming, so I find a way to get a flight, get a ticket, and I was there. But this friend have known some guys from the sellers from the vendors. So he said probably we can get some backstage passes. That's
Mm-hmm.
nice, but we need to work. It's not gonna be we're just goofing around there. We were
Yep.
helping those guys to carry boxes, putting helmet outs, lining up, like because we were helping all these huge from these huge vendors. Like they were like lining up like lines and lines from helmets, and all the players were just getting in, signing like in series, like automatic series, just like that. So we were told that Troy was supposed to come in the evening, and they told us like he's a very private person. Please,
Mm-hmm.
nobody, don't bother him, don't arrest him. We everybody was told about that, and probably when he came, he was just wearing his headphones, quiet, probably
Mm-hmm.
not making much eye contact with anybody, and just going with every stand of those different vendors. He was just getting sitting on a table. Everybody was bringing all the stuff that he was supposed to sign for those big trading companies. Jerseys, like massive production jerseys, like he was just signing. And the next day, he was supposed to be the meet and greet with the fans. The next day, when the fans have the ticket holders, fans will have the chance to line up and get a picture, get their item signed, and then probably will move on for the next fan. But this was the day before. He was just being there from the big vendors. So we were just working around, keep trying to line up or arrange all the stuff that he was supposed to bring to the stand that this friend was working around, and I was helping him. I was his assistant, and I brought that print, that photo. So I was just staring at him from the distance, just watching him. I was just enjoying, like, wow, what is this guy like? It's so
Mm.
close, and also at the same time so far, probably some meters ahead. And then he just came to our stand. He was start signing. I was kind of in front of them, maybe like 3 or 4 meters away, maybe like 3 meters away, just standing, saying nothing. And I was holding my picture. Somehow, probably he feel that I was staring at him. He just put his eyes up, and I just showed the picture right away. I have it. So I just make this move.
Let's go. Right. So you got
He
him
saw that.
to sign
He
your
saw
picture?
that. Exactly. He saw that. He was sitting down. He saw that. And he said, "What is that?" And he just stand up and tried to come forward to me. And then I was trying to make a step to get this thing close. And all the
Yeah.
security staff, he just made me decide, like, no, don't even try it. Stop it. So I just froze it and said, sorry. And I just showed it to him. And he just stand up and say, "Oh, nice, man." Like, he saw the
Ah.
picture. He said, "Not nice." So they take him out to the next stand, and he just keep going with that. At that point, they said, "Well, he saw that picture. That's what I was. I was happy with that. Just he just saw it. He knows what it was, and that's it." So I was some hours passed by. I was still helping my friend lining up some helmets in a different aisle, and suddenly we noticed that he was coming with all this security stuff around him, just because he was done for the day. He was going to take him. He was going on his way to his hotel, and then suddenly he just passed by at the end for the at the from the alley at the very beginning, and he looked at us. I was wearing a Troy's jersey,
Yep.
and he just broke formation. He just a step away and walked towards to me and my friends, and said, "Hey, man, thanks for the support." And I was like, "Hey, she's talking to me. She's really talking to
Yeah,
me."
Troy.
I say, "Hey, man, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for the support. Nice jersey." I say, "Oh, wow, I couldn't, I probably couldn't say the words for a few minutes until, well, I shake his hand. He gave him a hug my friend. He started talking about, so where are you guys from? We're from Mexico. Oh, I was in Mexico 3 weeks away. Right? Why? Oh, because my boy likes to play soccer. So there was a tournament. So I take my boy. So we were in the city. So we start talking about anything but football, something stuff
Yeah.
from Mexico,
Life
because
stuff. Yeah.
he had a good time over there. So I finally say, "Well, Troy, we just come here to have the chance to meet you." I pull over my cell phone. I didn't have the photo with me at that time. And I just pull over the cell phone. They said, "Troy, I made this the day that you were supposed to be inducted on the Hall of Fame as a tribute, because you are one of my favorite players." I said, "Oh, man, that's awesome. Thank you for doing that. It's crazy." They say, "I remember I see that picture somehow, somewhere, but never figured out exactly what was." It's like, "Yeah, it's all my jersey collection. Try to make yours, right?" And at the very end of the picture, you can see all my Troy in a line, my Troy jersey
Yeah.
all
Down the
lined up.
bottom.
It's
Yep.
at the very bottom, just before the Terrible Towers line, the row. So there's all of my Troy's jerseys, right? So he was, "Man, this is awesome." So probably he spent talking with us maybe, like, I don't know, 5 minutes. For me, it was kind of an hour. It was probably
Oh yeah, it
only
would have felt like a
five
lifetime.
minutes. And I could see, like, this the expression on the faces of the security guys or from the staff of the convention. I say, he's there, and probably the other guys from the companies that was working around. He said, "We saw him. He goes to this guy. Like, he doesn't call him here. He goes to the guy." So they were kind of feeling happy from us. So at the very end, he just we noticed that probably it wasn't the proper time to ask him for a picture. Even like he was there, and said, "Well, I tell you what, we just come here to meet you. I have a ticket, so probably tomorrow I have the chance to take a picture." They said, "Yes, man. Tomorrow we're gonna take that picture. I'm gonna save a picture for you." So we said bye. He called me. He gave me a nice hug, and then I couldn't sleep that night. I was thinking about what I'm
You're
going
that
to say.
excited.
Yeah, what I'm going to say to him the next day, right? I was already excited when he just came back to the with the security staff formation. He just kept walking away, and then I was just looking at him and said, "Man, he just came to talk to us. He's a very nice guy." The next day, after that, we were doing this endless line. We finally have the chance to see him again, and he was sitting in the desk. He recognized me. He said, "Hey, man, my Mexican friend." They said, "Yes, I am." So I just pull over a helmet. I was thinking, well, that jersey that it's on the picture. I still have it, like, it's here. And
That's
also,
insane.
I just pull over the picture, and he was looking at that and showing to his manager or his agent that he was a lady that was beside him. Both of them were wearing his foundation, his Triple Amal's foundation. And then he signed my picture. I said, "Man, this is the best thing that I ever. This is the most awesome thing I ever seen, like from a fan, like." So I was very happy. At the very end, I was.
I gotta stop you. You're not a fan. You're a super crazy. Edgar's a badass fan. Like, there are
Thanks
fans
so
out.
much, Gene.
There are
Cheers, mate.
fans out there, and there are Edgar fans.
Yeah. So at the end, I probably because we were holding the line, right? Like we were talking about the convention, and
Don't
we were
worry
holding the
anymore, man.
line. Everybody like, hurry up! They said, "Oh, sorry,"
Nah,
because a lot of fans need to have the same chance, right? So finally, I was practicing the night how to say, because I know that Troy it's a very religious person. So at the very end, I say, "Amwatu." I can't remember exactly the words, but I learned how to say, "God bless you," right? When I say bye, they say, "Sorry for my." I just was practicing this all night, and I said, "I hope to say it in the proper way." I say the words. I can't recall exactly the words, like for a man. I can't remember the words, but
yeah.
I say, "God bless you" in Samoan language.
Hmm?
He heard I say, "Thank you, man," and he said in Spanish, "Dios te bendiga." That means the same, like God bless you. And I shake his hand for the last time. Stand up to give me a last hug, and I move on out of the line. And that's the story how I get that crazy picture
Well,
signed by him.
I just want to say that is insane. I just want to say though, right? The dedication you have to the Steelers, the dedication by putting out this.
And
By the way, J Devil says you're a certified legend, right? The dedication
Mark,
you got.
probably the best thing for me from that experience is that all the athletes, like kind of probably the day before, they were just focusing on sign. It's kind of the business. It's part of the deal
Mhm.
they have. They will commit to sign whatever they have, but they probably will make uh, a somehow of arrangement about money, right? The next day, they will be nice and polite with the fans because the fans were paying. They're paying tickets for that. For example, like Troy's ticket value, it's like was 150 something like that to get an autograph, right?
Mhm.
So people spend their money to have that, and you were all the athletes, all the players that were signing that day, you expect them to be nice and polite because it's a show, right? It's a moment with the fans. Probably some of them could be more personal, more private, or probably not very interested in crowds or crazy fans getting around them. But in the show, everybody's pretty nice, everybody's pretty gentle. But the way that probably if that happened, if nothing happened the day before, I could say, well, Troy's a nice guy because as anybody else on those tables, they're supposed to be nice, taking care of the fans because the fans are paying money to get the autographs. But the way that he just broke up probably the rules, I don't know if it was their own rules or the rules from the
Yep.
staff convention that say don't bother him, nobody approach him. He say, I don't care. I want to see these guys, and he generally comes ahead us and spends some time with us, thinking about like how are how is was Mexico like in Mexico, the food, everything else, like the places that he had the chance to visit, and that was this personal and legit touch that he's a really nice guy. No matter if he's under the lights from the show or just backstage, right? He's a very nice guy, and
Well,
that's
like
probably the
we'd
nice
say here,
experience of him.
he's a good bloke. That's what we would say
He's
here. Because
That's
I tell you
exciting.
what, the reason and you know what, do you know why I think that happened? That fan experience. It's because you were so dedicated to the Steelers and what you did. And actually, Troy saw the dedication that you made all these jerseys for him to pay tribute to his season, to his Hall of Fame, to his career with the Steelers. He's seen this and said, you know what? I'm going to give 5 minutes of my time for Edgar. And
Yeah, and
that's a big difference, right?
that's a big difference. It's a story I want to carry on around the all the years that I have left. So yeah, it's a lifetime experience.
That is insane. All right, we're
But
gonna
then
switch.
At the very end, it's Troy's jersey. They frame it. That's on
we're
my
gonna
wall.
we're gonna switch gears a little bit. We're gonna talk about the current Steelers right now because we could talk all day about the fan
Oh yeah,
experience. But at the same time, you'd have no photos left, so we might say that for another interview.
of
If I
course,
get you back on
anytime,
the
my
show,
friend.
right? Because your enthusiasm is just it's unmatched. It is. I would love to go to a game with you or go to the bar and cheer the Steelers on and just have fun. Like the
Yeah.
overall experience and the aura being around you, even on the internet, is fun. And I know the guys in the chat agree with me 110%. But let's get into some. And if you guys have questions in the chat too about the Steelers this season,
Oh yeah.
what are you most excited about this season in 2023 for our Steelers?
Probably the thing that most getting me excited is was the way that Omar Khan is managing all the stuff.
I agree.
He's finally, well, now the transition was complete. He's finally putting his stamp, his foot and around how he prepared before the draft, how he managed the free agency. Because probably, well, we were expecting he will be maybe trying to follow the same way, the Steelers way that Kevin Colbert was doing for a lot of time. But he started like surprising us, like the way he approached to the free agency. When he decided, okay, well, I'm gonna bring these veterans, I'm not probably gonna bring back all the guys from home that are free agents, probably just a few. I will try to make to finish the contracts that we needed to get done before the free agency. So it was a very surprising way that he managed the free agency, because by the time that the draft happened, he already had covered all the needs. So whatever that we could get on the draft was an extra, because all the positions, all the spots that probably all the weaknesses about the players that left, they were covered before the draft. So, and then the draft came around, so everybody was thinking about what they're still are gonna pick, and then they come the surprises. So he just moved on to bring Broderick, and then everybody was expecting a corner, and he said he just keep his cool, and then okay, Joe Porter is here, so everybody was excited. Said, man, he's doing so well, and then this tight end, this massive tight end that is gonna be a steal, right? So at the end of the draft, me and when I was talking with some friends, they say, "Are you happy?" Yeah, I'm really happy the way he managed, even like the way that he just moved down to get a different player, or probably to get another pick. So he handled very well, and then he just came to the training camp without drama, without everybody quiet, nothing to be people talking about, but like the Steelers are ready. They just finished all the contract they need to get signed. The Alex Highsmith extension, all these veteran players that are coming around to challenge the other guys that not only just bodies to practice. No, somebody that's gonna challenge their position, and maybe we're gonna have some very nice surprise. So overall, probably my best feeling is about that Omar Khan is doing good things, making good decisions, and that gives us a lot of confidence that we're gonna have a very awesome season.
I agree with you. Got a few more questions too. We've got one here from George. It says, Edgar, who are you anticipating to see more this year? Off season. We're in the off season. Offense or defense?
Well, I think that probably defense is gonna stand up as usual. Probably we're gonna be, as the years before, we're gonna be leaving what the defense could make for us. Probably just to keep the offense in a position that probably they could stay on the game and maybe win the game. The good thing is that probably we've been seeing that Kenny Pickett is doing a lot of work. He's been studying. He's been quiet. He's been practicing. Even all this off season, like he just get himself on shape. You can see that he looks strong, more confident, and we have the players. We have good players that like Pickett, like Najee Harris, a new offensive line that doesn't show any weaknesses at this point. So I think
it's much better than last year with the additions of CM Marlowe and Dan Moore getting better.
That's right.
Back up with Kevin Dotson. It's like Omar Khan has done his.
That's right.
His work.
So probably, it's gonna be to see the continue. Probably we still have some doubts about the Matt Canada system, if it's finally gonna work. So, but now probably we have more confidence. Okay, the defensive line is not gonna be an issue. We have a good receivers corps. We have a good running back corps. So we have a more experienced and dedicated quarterback. So things should be getting better.
Yeah, well, that's we'll do a follow-up, and then I'll get Jane's question next. So Pepper says here, how do you feel about quarterback number 1? Can he pick it in the year 2?
Well, he have a quick Corbin learned like last year, and probably
Yep.
everybody was excited. I was there again in that game against the New York Jets when finally
Oh, you were at the
uh,
game.
I was on that game, so I
Oh
saw his
wow.
first pass. I was
Man.
there, and when everybody was expecting that after the mid game that okay, Trubisky's coming back, I said no, it's Kenny, right? So I was very excited when he throws his first pass. Everybody said
You
it
know,
was
you know,
intercepted.
I'm the only fan in the world that missed his debut because I slept through that game because
Oh,
I knew Trubisky was starting, so I went, nah, I don't.
yeah.
It was
And it's the
3 a.m.
Jets, and yeah.
Yeah, it was 3 a.m. I was getting home from after a party. I haven't been out for been out drinking for a while, and I went to a party and I got home at like 1 a.m. and I was like, "There's no way I can get up in 2 more hours, sleep 2 hours, and wake up." I knew Trubisky was starting, so I thought I'll sleep through, and I'll catch it after. I woke up to the news that Kenny Pickett came in at halftime, and I'm like one of the only fans that missed it.
I was there. Kind of
That's
fortunate. I
crazy.
was fortunate to be there that day, and even like in the stadium, like all the fans that we have that feeling that okay, this area needs to start, no matter how, no matter
Mhm.
what, it's starting. And now, well, after all this experience, probably he struggled uh, at the very beginning. Of course, he was a rookie, and then but at the very end, you could see that he was more confident to keep to keep going on with the Steelers offense. So all this experience probably would need we could we're not I'm not going to be expecting that he's going to break out this season. He's going to keep learning,
Exactly. Yeah.
but I can see that he's a dedicated guy. Like he's studying
Yes.
the system. Before he
Yeah.
wasn't prepared. Now he's prepared with the system. There's no more noise around that. Who's gonna be the starting quarterback? It's
It's
him.
Kenny.
That's it. It's Kenny right away. It's his team now. Probably he's showing some sort of leadership. So probably he's gonna be forced to be a leader on the field. The team is gonna be confident with him around, and I could see that he make an effort to build more muscle, to learn the
He got
system.
bigger. Hmm.
Exactly. So now it's the system that probably it was being designed for him to make it easy. So hopefully this year we can consolidate this relationship with Matt Canada, and we can. I think that he's gonna give us nice surprises. At this point, in this training camp, you could see that he's showing
Yes.
a lot of confidence, dedication, and leadership. That's the main thing. Leadership.
I think everything you said is in a nutshell what we've been watching in the off season. He does seem like a player who's checked in. He's been working hard at his craft, and there will be some jump. We have another question here from Gene. Do you have a favorite football team, like soccer team?
Soccer team. I stopped watching soccer from years ago because
You've got
football
no
was my
time.
game. Football was my game. Even like probably the only soccer matches that I watch are on the World Cup. Back on the days, probably when I was living in Mexico, there was a team when I was a kid that probably was cheering for that. It's from the team from Guadalajara. It's called it's called Chivas. It's goats. So for when I was a kid, I was cheering for that team, but at some point I said, "Nah, I get bored and I just move over." So I don't follow any
I
other.
feel like you have no time though. You're too busy, doing the Steeler Nation and Pittsburgh Steelers. You know what I'm saying? I
That's
feel
right.
like you're a very busy man following the black and gold.
That's right.
I have another question here from Gene. Says best pizza. What's the best pizza?
That's pizza. Wow. I have tried the Chicago pizza because it's quite famous and it's pretty tasty. Yeah,
What's on that? What's on that? What's on that pizza?
it's most like but most this thin crust.
Yep.
That's the thing that probably pump the flavor.
Okay, but what is it like? Oh, like you said, chicken pizza? No.
No. It could be whatever regular meat pizza, but in the Chicago style, it's the flavor on the dough, like the crust. It's pretty.
Ah, yeah, right.
That's the main thing. Yeah, you need to try it
What do
and
you
say,
eat on
"Ah,
what do you eat on game day? When it's game day, Steelers versus 49ers, 1 p.m. You're watching at the same time, I think, because it's the same thing. What do you eat on game day?
game day." Normally, well, I have some chips around. That's also how my daughter comes to watch the game a little while with me until the chips are gone. Then she moves out. But when I just brought my bowls of chips, she's with me wearing her Steeler jersey and watching the game. Normally, I like chicken wings,
Mhm.
and probably some celery with some ranch and blue cheese dressing, and yeah, that's probably and a beer, right?
Is your family all Steelers fans? Everyone?
Well, they need it.
They need to be?
It's kind of a must.
Would they Steelers fans before you met your wife? No? No.
No, she
Uh,
wasn't. But I just warned her, like, when we start dating, I say, well, we've been doing a lot of stuff as a boyfriend. When I say, when September starts, you probably won't see me on Sundays, Monday nights, Thursday nights. Yeah.
I
The rest
like
of
it.
the
I
week,
like
you
the
come with
rules you
me,
have.
except but those days. Why? Because football season is about to start, and you won't see me if there's a Steelers game. So probably she embraced it, and well, instead of like probably challenge battle with me, fight with me about the you're not spending time with me. So she started watching the games with me, and at some point, uh, he had the chance to watch the Super Bowl against the Cardinals. So all that season, and when she
Yeah,
said,
yeah,
"Oh,
yeah.
the Steelers wrong," so she wears her jersey. She joined me with the team to go to the Pittsburgh games. Even when we got married, I'm gonna bring another frame out.
Yes.
I'm gonna share you our wedding invitations.
Wow. Black and gold.
And
You're the most
this
incredible fan
this
ever.
is a picture of us wearing white Troy's Polamalu's jerseys in white.
I'm
This is
coming
our
to Toronto, man. When I get to Toronto, you and I are meeting up for a beer or something because you are the most incredible fan ever.
and also part of the ceremony, like we made like a terrible wedding
Wedding
tower
shower. You were
with
nuts. You're
with
nuts.
sunflower because it's her favorite flower. So it's a mix with Steelers and sunflowers. But yeah,
Wow, that's
we made a
fantastic.
customized wedding towel. And when we were getting around the salon before the all the parties started, everybody on the table had a wedding towel. So everybody was waving and we cheering about, like kind of like being in Hinesville at the time.
Can I ask you a question? What are you gonna feel like being this passionate when the Steelers win the Super Bowl next? Is your mind just gonna blow up? Like,
I think so. Yeah, every year it's my hope. Every year you ask me, so yeah, they're gonna win this year.
yeah,
No
I
matter
feel
how. I'm a true believer. Probably even like when we're having a struggle, rough patches or a struggle in the middle of the season, so somehow we're gonna get there. I never lose the faith. Even like
yes,
when the game is about to be over, I just
yeah.
complete. Once it's over, I say, well, we lose or we win, but I always we just being close to say we're not done until it's done, right?
It's not over till it's over, man. Not over till and we saw that with Ben. We actually see that with Kenny Pickett.
Thanks, man.
Actually, yeah, Kenny Pickett. We saw four comebacks too. Gene says too. Edgar's our new best friend. 100%. 100%.
Thanks, Jim.
It is insane. We have another question here from Steel Subticon says, between the Ravens, Browns, and Bungles, which one has the worst fans? Do you think, or which is
The
the
worst
worst team?
fans, I could say that probably should be the Browns.
The Browns. Why is that? Why is that? You reckon?
Yeah. Normally when I was going everywhere, all the time I'm wearing a Steeler jersey because it's a way to have contact with somebody else that likes football.
Yes,
Probably you can
100%.
get a boo if they're from other
Yeah.
teams. And, hey man, I like the Steelers all the time. I have nice stories about just because I'm wearing the jersey around. But all the Browns fans are like still very hurt about the Steelers. Like they just go like, "Eh, boo, Steelers!" Everywhere you go.
I don't know why they're obsessed with us. Their
That's right.
wins against us is like they
It's
beat
like
us
the
in a
Super
barrel.
Bowl for them. Exactly.
I don't understand. We don't really care about the Browns. The Browns on the schedule. Week 2 is already a W in my opinion. I think TJ Watt and those fellas are going to run around Watson crazy. They did it last year in 2022 when they got him 7 times. Right. The Browns.
Mm-hmm.
So I know they're a very passionate fan base. Like I really can't stand the Bengals, but the Browns, yeah, they're so obsessed. They still call when they verse the Steelers week 2 Steelers week. I don't think I
That's
ever
right.
call it Browns. I don't call it Browns week. I just call it the Steelers are versing the Browns this week. Big Ben's already beat them 100 million times. We beat them a lot of times.
That's right.
They're nothing to us, right? They're nothing.
Yeah,
If
but
anyone,
they are. I just say they're pretty obsessed. Like if they win,
that's it.
win to us, they just go insane, right? And
Yeah,
they start like talking trash or whatever. That if they have probably beat us from decades, and no, it's just one game, but still, it's a big deal for them.
it is like their Super Bowl, that one where is it Pouncey threw the ball over the edge. There was a bad game and they won it for sure. They played really well. It's just insane. If anyone has any more questions for Edgar here, we'll do a few more questions and then we'll start to wrap up the show. But it's been fantastic. A few more
Thanks so
questions,
much.
though. A few more questions coming into this season. What are your thoughts on? Is there a legit chance we can go to the playoffs this year?
I think so. I do think so. Probably we have a calendar that is not the easiest, it's not the hardest, but probably I think that we covered our bases. Like we have a solid players base that probably is gonna come around. Mostly the most of the question a year ago was the offense, so we can see that there's no questions on the offense. I just let them do their thing. The defense is always the one that is gonna. I still believe that we're gonna get as long as we can, as longer that the defense take us. Hopefully the main players, Minka, Cam, and TJ are gonna stay healthy. As long the three of them stay healthy, all the other guys are gonna rise the level and play the same level as them. So we're gonna be the same. They covered on those three lines, right?
I think so too. I think the defense got more veteran leadership by getting, guys in like Patrick Peterson, but they already have Minka there too, true stealer. You have TJ Watt and Highsmith signed the contract. So this defense is going to be outstanding. Plus the rookies too with Herbig. And there's so many players there. I think they're all buying into what this is.
Right.
They're going to be more physical, right?
That's right.
Gene says, show up. Who's going to be the player that shows up this year? That's like, an outstanding player.
Outstanding player. Well, on the defense, I hope that Alex Highsmith is gonna break it down. Like he's gonna be like a true menace. So everybody's gonna get busy, not try to make a double cover on TJ. So probably they're gonna start probably covering with two guys, Alex. So I hope he has a breakout season now that he has his extension. Probably it could be good, like two unbelievable outside linebackers just running the edges to get the quarterbacks. Probably on the defense, it's going to be there. It's going to be him. On the offense, I probably expect that, well, as many probably others, like maybe George Pickens going to rise up a lot. Hopefully he can hold his temper. We could see like the heck of the reception that he made it yesterday, like all over reported. It's awesome. Freak out. I hope that he doesn't have that many of those catches, because probably he can start losing his mind, like feeling the everything. I expect more to like get him open and gain more yards. Is a regular catch, gain more yards, and make some first down instead of these acrobatic catches that at the end you saw that probably everybody was excited because it was a hell of a catch. But then the next thing he just throw the ball to his friend. So that happened in that game. He's gonna be penalty but taunted the player. So that catch won't be valid, and the team is gonna get back some 15 yards. So that's the thing with George, right? Hopefully the coach staff could manage his temper, and maybe he's gonna have a breakout season.
100%. If George can control his aggression, control that anger, and use it for good and positive things, it's game over. Right. Like he's one of the best players or young players coming up in the Steelers, right?
Right.
So we don't want flags. We don't want Claypool doing the point. We don't want taunting, stuff like that. Just do what Hines Ward did, would smile and walk back, or
right.
I don't mind the wave. Do the wave, whatever you want to do, but don't go out of your way to get taunting penalties and stuff like that. We'll do one more question, then we're going to wrap it up, because this show is like blowing my socks off. It's been way too.
Thanks so much, everybody.
Right. It says Pittsburgh Toy says, Edgar, have you been to Tucson?
Tucson.
What do you think of the Mexican food there? Have you been there?
I've been there in Tucson, and this is just in the border with Sonora. This is the province of Sonora, and then it's the south of Arizona. I've been there just one time, and probably the food, it's more about like the American version of Mexican food. Probably you look around, and the first thing you're gonna find are burritos, are gonna be nachos bowls or fajitas. But probably that's kind of most like the flavor of the north of Mexico. But if you have any time have the chance to taste the food from the center of Mexico or from the south, it's totally different, and it's more tasty, and you won't regret to try that one.
Yeah, right. Well,
that's the real experience.
I'm full stuck into the Western culture. I just like the burritos and stuff like that and the tacos, I love anything like that. Is there anything you want to say, to kind of end the show and what you're excited about or what you're doing over the next few weeks with training camp?
Well, probably they both probably as for all the Steelers fan that I will be watching us today and will be cheering for the Steelers every week. Just don't lose the faith on your team, no matter what happened, no matter how bad the situation could be. They always find the way to keep competing, and they don't put their hands down, their head down. Now they normally fight at the very end of every game, at the very end of every season. As a fans, we should be doing the same. So keep up your faith with the team, and good things will come over.
I think some Steel fans need an ounce, not the guys in the chat, but some other ones on social media need like just a tiny bit of an ounce of your enthusiasm, and we're fine. Because chatting to you is like, let's effing go. Let's run through the wall. Najee Harris, Jalen Warren, new offensive line, Kenny Pickett, George, defense. It's gonna go crazy.
It's
So I
gonna
think
be a good season, crazy
it's going to
season.
be a good season. So I thank
It's
you for
gonna be
your
good.
time, Edgar. Hopefully everyone had a good time in the chat as well. Stick around for 2 minutes and I'll chat to you off air, but it's been
Okay.
fantastic. I can't say anything more than this. Pittsburgh 2086 says Edgar is awesome.
Thanks so
So,
much, Guy.
oh, mate.
Hopefully,
Unbelievable.
hopefully one day I have the chance to maybe do another show, but in Australia with Mark around and probably
Mate, we'll
showing
figure
me the
something
places
out.
around. I probably have the chance to meet the Australian Steeler Nation, and well, just keep post. And probably the photo day is coming, so get
Yeah,
around and take a picture.
can you expand into that as well and explain what this photo is, and maybe some of the American listeners here can figure that out. So what does this photo mean?
Well,
So what is happening in the next few weeks, and how can fans get involved?
so the week before of the start of the season of the NFL kickoff, the Sunday before, a lot of Steelers fans are gonna be getting gathering around in different cities, and just to at around 10:30 a.m. Center time to take a picture as a group as a fans. But this is happening from the last 8 years or no 10 years now. That every year, so all the Mexican families start gathering in the different cities to take this picture, and we can start taking pictures in a city with only 2 or 3 fans, and they could be another picture with seven 700 fans or 900 fans. But every year, more cities, more places, more countries are adding to this kind of tradition of fans.
Me included, man. Me included. I'm here too.
That's right. So it's a good time that every organizer on each city probably try to gather as much fans as they can, find a place, a significant place, or maybe a landscape place to say, okay, here is where we're going to be representing Sydney or Melbourne or all these fantastic cities around Australia or around the world. So and in a way, probably the main thing is like just to show the Steeler passion around the world. And every year, after all the photos are collected, the organizers are submit those pictures to the Steelers, and they post it on or prepare a video on the Steeler Nation fan site. So yeah, just as a way, like a random act of fans, but it's also like a thing that is happening, and this is going to be the 10th anniversary when this tradition started.
Yeah, so it grows bigger every year. If you guys want to check that out, there is one site you can go to, which is facebook.com and photos. There's more information there called Photo Steelers. I'm involved in it too. I'm doing a local one this year because it's a bit easier for me, and I've got some fans coming down that I know from Australia that should be turning up to my local pub. We'll get a quick photo and stuff like that. I've actually been a little bit too busy to organize a city one, but hopefully the next year I can do it bigger and better. But I did one in Melbourne. The first year that's how I actually met Edgar through a Zoom call with the organizers. But pretty much is if you go to Facebook or if you create an account or whatnot and go to Facebook, Photo Steelers, go there and find your city where the photo will be taking place. You can turn up to that photo, meet all the Steelers fans, and then you'll be once the photos are collected, it goes to Steelers.com. They make a video out of it. It gets released, and then you'll be famous. Pretty much, you'll be like on there. So I've made it twice. Steelers also has met it twice, once through a collage and once down in Melbourne. Fantastic. I'm hoping that my guys who turn up that I get hopefully more than 4 or 5. I'd be happy with that, to be honest. 4 or 5 is fine for me. But if I get 10 or 15, it'd be fantastic. But Edgar, thank you, mate.
Thank you so much, Mark. Thank you, all the Steelers Nation. And just wave your turbo towers, and here we go, Steelers.
Yeah, thanks, guys. We'll see you later.
Thank you.
Here we go, Steelers. Here we go.